The Shadow in the Mirror. For years, 22-year-old Emily had suffered from severe insomnia. No matter how exhausted she was, she always felt a presence in her apartment, watching her. It started small, random cold spots, whispers in the middle of the night, objects slightly out of place. She told herself it was just her mind playing tricks on her. One night, as she sat in bed scrolling through her phone, she glanced at the antique mirror she had inherited from her grandmother. It was large, old, and had an eerie, almost blackened reflection. But what made her freeze in terror was the movement she saw. Something was standing behind her in the reflection. She spun around. Nothing was there. Her breathing was ragged as she turned back to the mirror. The reflection was still wrong. The room looked the same, but her reflection wasn't moving in sync with her. It was slightly delayed. And then it smiled. Emily's blood ran cold. She hadn't smiled. Her reflection tilted its head and slowly, ever so slowly, lifted a hand while she kept hers at her side. It pointed directly at her. Her heart pounded as she backed away from the mirror. The reflection mimicked her movements until it didn't. It took a step forward toward the glass. The lights flickered. The room grew unbearably cold. Emily scrambled for her phone to turn on the flashlight, but the screen glitched, flashing static. When she looked up again, the reflection was right up against the glass, its smile stretching unnaturally wide. Then it raised a finger and tapped on the inside of the mirror. Tap, tap, tap. Emily let out a choked scream. She grabbed a blanket and threw it over the mirror, her hands shaking violently. The tapping continued beneath the fabric. She didn't sleep that night. By morning, the apartment felt normal again. Sunlight poured in, the air was warm, and she convinced herself that it had all been a hallucination brought on by exhaustion. She needed to get rid of the mirror. As she hesitantly lifted the blanket, the mirror's surface was clear again. Her reflection was normal. She let out a shaky breath and grabbed it to take it outside. That's when she noticed it. On the glass, in the faintest smudges of condensation, were 5 words written from the inside. "You can't cover me forever." That was the last night Emily stayed in that apartment. But the mirror was never found.